Hi, I'm Dana, and in making content online and talking about the struggles I face as an autistic person, I'm met with a lot of replies telling me, "Oh, just do this. I'll just do this. It's dead easy. Here's a little tip. Here's hints and tips and hacks and advice on how to socialise in the way that neurotypicals do." And we're getting straight into it because first off, I don't think that people that are leaving these types of comments realise that a lot of the time what you're saying to me is mask harder, be less autistic, mask harder, and the neurotypicals won't respond so poorly to you. It's your fault and you need to do more. You know? I understand that that's probably not the thought that's in your head and it's probably not the intention behind the comments, but that is the message that's coming across, is that I'm not trying hard enough, I'm not doing well, and if I want to be treated like a human person and treated with any sort of respect as a disabled person, then I need to try to be less disabled. And within that, I feel like there's a massive gap where they're missing how hard I try. So this is where I've had a little analogy that I've been working on in my head that I'm not entirely sure is going to come into fruition with words, but we're going to try. Because I feel like a lot of the time when people are saying this, they have this like solid foundation block that they're building their social skills onto, and it might get a little wobbly up at the top here. They're autistic. It's not always going to be like super fucking secure. They're not going to perfect their social skills most probably. It might be a little bit wobbly at the top, but there's this like secure little block that they formed at the bottom to build the rest of them on, and they're assuming that I have this like solid foundation block at the bottom, and I don't. My entire thing is little bricks and pebbles all plopped on top of each other, and the entire thing is fucking wobbly and at risk of like a mudslide or some shit. There is no foundation block, there is no support at the bottom where I'm able to socialise. Like I don't feel like I have the same like foundation block that a lot of people seem to assume everybody has. Every single part of me socialising with the world is some level of a performance or an act. There is never a point that I'm not masking to some degree, because if I didn't, I wouldn't be speaking, I wouldn't be making any sort of facial expression, I wouldn't be existing as a human being if I didn't mask. So each one of the little rocks and pebbles and shitty bricks that I've used to build my little pile of social skills over here, they're already bits that I've had to learn and bits that I've had to figure out and bits that I've put together to be able to socialise as well as I do, which still isn't brilliantly, but it's more than if I didn't mask and if I didn't put the effort in and if I wasn't trying, like people seem to assume, you know? And the thing with that is that everyone's bricks, everyone's rocks, everyone's pebbles, everyone's whatever the fuck we're using, they're all differently shaped and they all fit together differently. And there is no one way to socialise with the world, you know? Every single social interaction that you come across, every single person that you speak to is different. And you're required to some level to be different with them, you know? Like as much as I see everything as masking, I am like, there's some level of everybody is masking all the time. And yes, autistic people are masking a lot more severely and we're facing a lot more fucking side effects of it. But I do think that everybody is masking to have a social interaction to some degree. But they're doing it with their solid little foundation block. And for the most part, maybe their bricks, like at least in neurotypicals, their bricks are more or less the same shape. So they can like exchange them and exchange those like social niceties and whatever else. And they slot into each other in a reasonably well-fitted way. Whereas when I do it, I feel like I've got this brick shape of theirs where they've given me the brick of a social interaction and I'm fucking shoveling plaster and gravel and bits into it, just trying desperately to grope at some form of like fucking normal social interaction that I don't feel capable of. And I'm using every single hack and tip and trick that I've ever learned and ever been taught and ever heard about, and they don't fit, you know? And like, I'll give that I have times that they do. Like, I do have times that like the exchange fits perfectly and I'm like, oh, what a lovely person, I really enjoyed that social interaction. Like, it does happen, but for the most part, and especially in like the more important situations or situations where I'm trying to build a friendship with someone that I don't know very well and that type of thing, it just doesn't feel like it fits at all. And I feel like it feels like everybody else has at least like the neurotypicals have some level of understanding of how to alter the shape, and they can do a little chip here and a little carve there. And it feels like I'm being expected to do that by being told, like the comment that's like really inspired this, and I'm sorry if it was you, but was someone telling me like, oh, it's because of the inflection. When you tell someone you don't know, you have to raise the tone at the end. It's because autistic people don't like use inflection. And like, if you watch me video, like, I feel like I'm using quite a good amount of fucking inflection in my tone and in my voice and in my face and shit, because I've spent 2.5 decades cobbling this together, this fucking personality, where like I learned very early on, if I'm not doing inflection in my voice and not making sure that my face is smiley and happy and doing the right thing, people are constantly going to be like, what's wrong with you? Fucking be a miracle if you smiled, won't it? Like, it's not worth it. I'm not someone who's like extremely monotone. Like I'm aware that that is like one side of the spectrum and that's how some people are, but I think it's quite obvious through my videos that I'm not like that, you know? Like, in a real life social situation, I am quieter, I am a little more subdued. I'm obviously not talking for like 20 minutes at a time, but I still have inflection. I do still like this is my mask, this is the person that I've created for myself to be. And I do feel some level of frustration that it feels like I'm always supposed to alter the way that I communicate and alter the way that I socialise and alter the things that I do. And it's not on anybody else to just have a little bit more empathy and try to be a bit more understanding, or to just listen to the actual fucking words that I'm saying instead of making insane assumptions based on my inflection or the tone of my voice. And I also just don't understand how I'm supposed to have this understanding of what's appropriate and what situation. And people just change their fucking minds as well. Like, the housemate before last that I had, there was a point when they like deeply explained to me how me doing a little thumbs up react to them to like let them know like I've seen this message, I agree, like go for it, was actually really passive aggressive and rude of me. So I stopped doing that, obviously. And a few months down the line, all of a sudden that's how they're reacting to my messages, and that's completely fine. That's all right. That's a normal and healthy way for them to socialise, apparently. When I did it, it was really passive aggressive and rude and wrong of me, you know. And I've experienced that kind of thing over and over and over again, where I'm told this is how you socialise, this is the right thing to do, and then a few months later, a few weeks later, in a slightly different situation, that's all out the fucking window and it's not true whatsoever. And I'm supposed to somehow be able to just pick up on that and know that the thing that I've been told is the right thing is suddenly actually not the right thing this time. I have no fucking clue I'm supposed to know that. I'm also quite consistently like accused in comments of overthinking everything. And it's one of those things where it's like, okay, so I'm supposed to keep in mind that I need to do this and I need to do that and I need to watch my inflection, I need to watch my tone, I need to make sure I'm saying it like this and I'm doing this like this and I'm doing this facial expression. And while I'm thinking of all of that, while also trying to process the conversation, keep up with what this other person's saying, judge like their tone and inflection and their facial expressions to see how they're trying to come across to me. And while all of that is happening, I'm supposed to not overthink any of it, but also keep in mind these like 5 new rules that I've been given on the correct way to socialise. And I'm not allowed to overthink any of it. And also, in me saying these are the things that I have to think about in order to socialise, I have no other option than to think about these things, otherwise I'm not coping as a person, is somehow already me overthinking and me thinking too much about it and thinking too far into it. When like, if I don't think about these things, I'm not doing them, and then I'm being told, oh, you need to do this and you need to do this and you need to have this. And on top of all of that, I'm supposed to somehow like understand when people are actually giving me good advice, when people are giving me bad advice, when it's the kind of thing where like, you can't socialise either, so why are you telling me how to do it? Like, I'm sorry, but that is so often the vibe that I get, is where it's like, but it's not working for you. Like, why are you telling me to do this thing when it's literally not working? And similarly, I'll be told that I need to stop doing something and I'm like, but it works. You know, no one's getting hurt, it's not like rude, it's not manipulative, it's not mean of me, and it works for me, so why would I stop doing it? And I do feel like there's like a difficulty to the discussion because I do want to improve my social skills. I do want to be able to communicate with people easier. I do want to be able to like resolve conflict better. You know, like I do want to learn these skills and have new skills and be able to be more of like a fucking person and do more of the things that I want to do and the like. Giving me instructions and giving me little tips and hacks and tricks, it doesn't help. It just gives me so much more to fucking think about, to the point that I'm so overwhelmed that I can't do it. It becomes so much more than it already was, you know? And it's the kind of thing that I'm already like, I'm gonna get at least one comment that I'll delete it pretty fucking sharpish, because I have notifications on still. Like, I get every comment comes up as a notification on my phone and then I click on it and read it because I still get really excited to get comments. I guarantee you I'm gonna get at least one that's like, oh, it sounds like you're just making a lot of excuses. It sounds like you just don't really want to try, you know? And like, fuck yeah. Like, I think that's the thing, is like, as much as I make videos fairly often at this point, I won't lie, that are sort of like in response to things that I'm seeing regularly said in my comments, it also like doesn't really bother me. Like, I don't really actually, care that much. You know, like it might prompt a thought and then I'll like continue with the thought because I think it'll make a good video, but I'm not like emotionally impacted as a person. You know, a lot of the time I am sort of like, when it feels like it's supposed to be mean, I'm laughing at it because I'm just like, you're wrong. Like, come at me with something light and maybe I'll be sad, you know? Like, when I was in high school and people would be like, you're fat, it absolutely destroyed me because I knew they were fucking right. But like, when it's stuff that's just not true, or you just don't grasp the situation, you just don't understand, I'm just like, thanks for the engagement, I don't really care, you know? But I do also think it's very unfair that autistic people and other neurodivergent people are so often accused of making excuses when we're actually just explaining the situation. And if you listened and paid attention, you'd probably be able to like suggest better things and give better advice that's actually more catered to the situation, but you just can't be asked to listen. I also know that I do the like you address quite often. I don't mean you know? I think most people get it. I think most of you understand. Like, the vast majority of the comments I get are ones that I really appreciate and ones that like make me feel really less alone and make me feel like other people really do understand the situation that I'm in. And, you know, just like, there's other people just like me out there. I'm not just like some freak sat alone that's like complete outsider to the rest of the world, you know? Like, as soon as I know there's a few other people, it's like, oh, I'm not a freak, I'm not a weirdo. Like, I am, but I'm also like part of a union of weirdos, and that's quite nice. This is how I broke my last mug that was exactly like this. If anyone else stole a giant Starbucks mug in like 2014 and wants to sell it to me, I used to have two and I really want to again because I'm really scared I'm going to break this one soon. And the Starbucks cups currently, like, for first off, I don't fucking buy Starbucks coffee anymore, but the cups are also significantly smaller now because I did at one point buy a Starbucks coffee specifically so I could steal the fucking mug, and then I didn't because it wasn't the right mug anyway. It wasn't the same like shape, and I don't know why I'm telling you about this. You can like and subscribe if you'd like more videos like this. You can also find me over on TikTok and Instagram and Blue Sky, but I have also started posting my TikToks as reels here on the days that I don't post long form content, and I don't really know how I feel about it, to be honest with you, because I feel quite disingenuous on TikTok, because as much as I'm making content that I do think is like funny or impactful, like it has a meaning or whatever else, like I don't hate my TikTok content, but I am also very much making it because I'm like, this is the new place to make money now, and I can then upload them as YouTube shorts and probably get more money from YouTube, and I need money so that I can move. Not that I can fucking find anywhere that's available without a guarantor or that takes pets anyway, but you know, it's my current fucking pipe dream. I don't know why I'm rambling so much at the end here. Fucking hell. Whoever you are, wherever you are, I hope you have a lovely morning, evening, day, afternoon, month here, and I'll see you again in a fucking YouTube short tomorrow, apparently.